All right, today we have we're going to call it a parts truck. This is a low mileage truck that had a tree fall on it and got a bunch of new metal pop riveted in place. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but it's only got 41,000 miles, so I want to see if this engine's going to run, because it probably hasn't been started in, well, I was told it was left in the garage for like 20 years, and who knows when the last time it was cranked was. So far, we know the water pump is locked up, oil looks fairly clean, there's no belts on it, no water in it. That's not a good sign, but right now we're going to start by seeing if it'll even spin over. Nothing.
Let me see if I can.
It actually should start beeping in here. Oh, got a blower fan.
Windshield
wipers.
wipers.
Okay, they went to part. Got any headlights?
Ain't got none in it. I'll go up around my truck and get some gas.
Alright, well that sounds promising. Yeah, I'm gonna get some gas and a little bottle, and well, hopefully that's all we need.
You want to do that? No.
Alright.
I'll do this.
Let it whistle a little bit. Now this is electronic ignition, so there's no points to fail, so it technically should just fire right up. Oh.
Yeah, you're going to have to squeeze that.
Try it again. Okay.
If you keep giving it a little bit, it'll keep running.
Alright, I'll see if I generally like a smaller.
I believe she's going to run all right. Get some gas.
Sounds pretty good. I don't even see no smoke whatsoever.
No.
Okay, so this one needs some gas to the carburetor, and see if the carburetor itself is functionable. Alright, I sort of skipped quite a bit of stuff here, but well, there's the water pump. And so yesterday in the rain, I cleaned out the block and everything best I could. Got another water pump to go on it. Now I got the carburetor off because it was completely froze up. So that's what we're trying to get. I got a backup over here in case that one don't work out. But we're trying to get this original carb going, because it's in very good shape, other than it shouldn't be worn. 41,000 miles. It's just gummed up from sitting. So we've got our throttles moving. Still trying to get them moving correctly.
No, it's going back on its own.
Yeah, it does have a throttle return spring already on it there. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it was completely froze up. You hit the pedal, it did not move. Secondary was pretty sticky. So I'm slacking and missed all that, but anyway. Choke's fine. Alright, let me get my flat screwdriver, and I want to pull that float bowl off.
It's Philip either one.
Well, yeah. Gotta be careful with these. Boy, they are, there we go.
Tight, ain't it?
A little bit. Just kind of stuck, more or less. Usually the flat does better for breaking those loose than Phillips. Alright. I kind of hate to take this off because most of the time when you take them off, they want to leak when you go to put them back. But I feel like this float bowl is going to be pretty nasty. Yeah, quite a bit of crud in there. Now, one thing you always got to watch with these, you got this little spacer right here that holds the float back. Those tend to get missing. So we're going to set him right there and hope we don't lose it. And then we're going to pull the float out so we can knock all these, all this crust down in here. So this is why it was essential to pull that off before we even tried to run anything through there, because we don't want that clogging up our carburetor right off the rip. Now, so our main jets right here, we may go ahead and top these off, because those are our main jets. And a lot does not want to come off. Okay, that side. Oh! Didn't want to eat it. Now what are those, 12?
I'd say.
They're not plier size.
I didn't say there was. They bound to be 12. My half's a little loose
Okay.
on 'em.
Yeah, 12. Alright, so. Impact wrench. Alright.
Can't blow through it even with the pull down.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. So, alright, we got a copper washer here. Where's the other one? Is it still on the bolt?
Still on there.
Okay, so we're going to stick that one back on the bolt. So our batteries died as we was pulling the plugs out, but down in there is more crustacean here. We got some black crud down in there, so pretty much about need this. Give me that little pick. Carburetor kind of needs to be rebuilt, but we're going to try and clean him out enough to run.
A little air pressure.
Yeah, I may have to take him in the shop and do some more with it, but it'd be nice to find the actual carb cleaner instead of brake cleaner.
There it come through.
Well, I can see the jets now. So now, put my straw back on. Yeah, with all that clogged up, there's no way it would have ran. I don't know how that little beige truck ran. And the only thing I did was banged on the top of the carburetor to knock the float loose. Okay, that's going all the way through into the Venturi. That one seems to be too.
Mm-hmm.
That ought to run. Clean the insides out a little more.
I believe you're about out.
No, I was spraying it easily. Need one of the wire brushes. Now, this is pretty much standard practice anytime you're going to mess with a carbureted vehicle that's been sitting for 20 to 30 years. So. I wouldn't call this a rebuild, this is just basic cleaning. But I don't feel like it really needs to be fully rebuilt. You just got to clear out the parts where you got corroded from sitting. I may be wrong, I may get running and it runs like crap and it still has to come back off and be rebuilt, but right now I just want to get it to run and put some vigor in the cooling system and run that, get it up to temp to be able to try and clean that cooling system out. That rod right there, it's rusty. Does that move up and down? Or I guess I should say, is that supposed to move up and down? That moves a little bit. Let me spray it, it's not moving very good. Yeah, it looks like it was mostly gunk on it instead of actual rust, because it came off pretty easy with a little bit of stuff on it. It don't move a whole lot, I don't think, but it did make it move some. There you go, it's moving now, not real easy.
It's not moving easy enough.
Something like this. Do it that way.
I'll just come back down on some that time.
I'll get that sucker right there a little bit. It's in under the cap. Spray it out, clean the crud out. Around it.
Oh, it's freeing up.
Yeah. Hold tight on the There we go. Snapping back on his own now.
Okay.
Alright, now let me spray it off again, because I may have made some burrs off of it messing with it with the pliers. Plus we want to get that PB out of there. It's a good penetrating oil, but it's not exactly flammable like WD and stuff is. I don't suppose it would hurt the engine, but it ain't going to help the carburetor and make it run. Alright, so now you said our needle valve seemed to be...
I couldn't seem to blow through it.
Yeah, let's just take it out and clean it out too. Probably be the best thing to do.
Yeah, there's a screen in there too.
Yeah.
Here, you
Oh,
take
yeah.
your screw out.
Yeah, let's do it the right way, dummy. Yeah, it's got that little notch in there, but you can't get your, well, if you had a real thin wall socket or thin wrench. Which we may have to do something like that. Can we get this on it? Yeah. Sometimes the impact will do
Yeah, just that jar.
where you can't hold it. Alright, now let's try to get this off without destroying the screen. And let's clean the spider webs out from behind here. And them going back in there. Oh, I'm about to rake them right over in there. There we go. Alright, now. Well, that doesn't look horrible. That's fine. Our, yeah, our needle valve is duped up right there. So we're going to stick this, watch your eyes.
Oh, it's coming out down there.
Yeah, there we go. It had just a little bit of goop in it. So that's probably, let me spray this off a little more here. Probably good for that.
Yep.
We'll,
Screen looks clean.
yeah. Mostly the gas evaporated and left the varnish part in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why down in the bottom and stuff is where it settled and made the biggest mess. So. Alright. Now we'll throw this back on right there. And this back on here. That's so close that that is actually hits that, and you gotta get him in just the right spot to get him started. One ooga dooga ought to do it. We got more.
You have to tilt that up.
Yeah, we got another. Like that.
Yeah.
Let's see, it was sitting like that. But we can actually set it, that's why it's got that slot. You can set it wherever. I kind of like to have it back in there a little bit more out of the way. We boogered the bolt just a little bit. Okay, now this bolt for that. All right. Now, far from spotless, but I think that's good enough. It ought to run. Yeah, let's put those plugs back in. Is your little washer on yours?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now where's my little lock for that? Okay. Sort of bent this one, straighten him out a little bit. Because these are actually supposed to, these little fingers turn up, and that's when it slides down there. They do not like to come back off.
No, the way they're made, ain't.
They're a bit tricky. So we're going to put them back on. Catch him a little notch. Catch him a little notch. Like that. Oh, come on now. You want that on the other side, jumps off. Oh, it actually cracked on this other side up here. Okay, that'll hold him on there. All right. Now we want to take and wet us a spot on our shop towel and wipe this cover off good. So that's your gasket in there. Now these little gaskets are what's prone to when you take it off and they want to leak.
If it comes out of there, it don't want to go back in there. It
Yeah,
stretches.
yeah, you don't take it out unless you're going to replace it. Now this we need to clean up a little bit. The little window has a dot, and that dot is where your fuel level is supposed to sit. So when it's functioning correctly and you can actually see through this, you can see your fuel level should be right even with that dot. Now we haven't messed with the float level or anything like that, so it should.
Yeah, but it looks to me like it's hitting. That looks bent.
Don't mess with it though. It's spring loaded and,
Okay.
and it should be fine. Now do not forget your little spacer going back on. Now I have found the best way to do these is, well, the way you've got it sitting there is pretty good. And take your nuts and washers and line them up on the hole, because you can't get them in there once it's down on there. This can be very tricky because you don't want to knock one down the intake. I'm trying to be stubborn back here. The split went in the hole. Can't get the turn right. Turn him around. Sit it on there. I'll sit the nut on top of it. Nut on its side. Okay, I got my two in place. You got yours in place?
Yeah.
Okay, now we want to put our fuel line on place. Put our fuel line in place. And try and ease him down without knocking him off. There we go. There we go. Now we want to see if I can get our nut started. Let's see. So we have a new gasket for the water pump, but I don't have a new gasket for the water neck where I removed the thermostat from, which I checked the thermostat and it's not stuck. So I've been debating on whether I want to put it back or not, but I mean eventually I will, but right off I'm kind of wanting it to circulate more. So I ain't decided on that yet, but we're going to make a new gasket for this by using this cardboard. So we're going to start with the corner over here as much as we can, and then we'll kind of rough cut it. Now they do make actual gasket paper, and I probably actually have some, but this is pretty thick, so I think it'll work fine. So now that we've got that rough cut, we'll take and I have a smaller hammer, but actually the bigger hammer is here for a purpose, and that is because it's a ball peen. We want to do this inside part. A smaller hammer would definitely work better. Basically, I scribed what I wanted there. Do I have that smaller hammer over there? So sometimes you can actually cut it like what I was just trying to do, but at the very least you want to scribe your shape, like so. Now we can go back and follow those lines, cut it. The outside part don't matter as much as the inside. Now, doing this inside is going to be a little tricky. I need a razor knife. I don't have one handy. So, let me try and go ahead and get the holes took care of. I did bring, well, I thought I brought a hole punch. There we go. Oh, almost. At least we ain't got that pollen like Georgia. Showed a picture from down there and the sky looked yellow.
Did you find any gasket filter?
Nope, I sure didn't. Do we need some? Or can we get by without it?
Well, I prefer to have some. I think I've got some.
Okay. Alright, now.
I'll go see.
Okay. Let me see your knife if you're not using it. I need to get this started here. I've got it marked, I just can't. So we want to take it. Start our hole. At least part way around. Enough like that. And then I can use my little weird scissors here and go the rest of the way around. I think these are actually like pruning shears or something. Some random crap I found. So, now, that's how you can make a gasket in a pinch. This was the cardboard that came with the other gasket. Now this is thick. You can't use a super thin cardboard, but anything that comes in a package usually has this type of cardboard with it. You don't want perforated corrugated cardboard. You want the solid kind. It's basically like construction paper. Well, they call it construction paper because you can make stuff with it. Okay, so there's my new water net gasket. Is it perfect? No. Will it leak? Hopefully not. We put it on with some silicone. It should be good. Now I just got to decide whether or not I'm putting the thermostat in. It seems to be functioning fairly well. Now, to test one of these, you can take and put it in a pot of water and bring it to a boil, and it should open before the water starts to boil. If it starts boiling and it hasn't opened, then your thermostat is no good. because naturally you don't want your engine boiling over. So, but usually what happens is they stick. This one is not stuck, therefore I'm going to call it good. And I think I'm going to slap it back in there. Not sure if these are any cleaner than the ones that came out of it. Not really. So I think I'll take these two original. I do have these small ones.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to take these two original bolts and clean them up because they look better than these other ones. It was with the water pump. So I'll take them down and wire wheel them real quick. Which on these things, it's a very good idea to have your anti-seize, because these bolts go through the water pump, through the cover, and into the block.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I was very worried about that when I was taking these loose. So they actually came out really good, considering the kind of crud that was on the water pump, and the water pump itself was frozen up. So I probably need to get a new can of this. There's still stuff in it, but it's getting hard to reach. Obviously this can's been around a day or two. Okay, I had a rain shower. Sounds like I might try to do it again. But we've got the water pump put back together, all the hoses back on, fuel system flushed out, and the carburetor back on. Now we're going to see if it'll run off its own carb. And well, the bowl looks like it might be over full. Let's see what happens.
Hold it. It's just pouring gas out both them tubes in the top. It ain't shutting off. It's just pouring it out right here on both sides.
Yeah. Float valve didn't shut off.
Like I say, it looked like it was hitting before it got up there.
Yeah. Well, shit. So, our needle valve is not shutting off, in which he said it didn't look right when we had to depart. Don't know why, unless somebody's been messing with it, but at any rate, at least the bowl seemed to be holding. It didn't leak out until just now. So we're going to take the bowl cover back off. And see if we can reset this float.
That float shouldn't come up more than about halfway. See, it's going all the way up and hitting the top.
Yeah.
You just stick that flat screwdriver in there and bend that up before it pushes up again.
All right, yeah, and I can see where it's bent down. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me freehand y'all for a second and show you what's going on here. Okay. So our float, when we see, it's going all the way up and hitting the top. So right here, this little tab is what works it. So what we're going to do is take our screwdriver and stick right in there and bend that. And this is actually how you're supposed to do this. This is not just jacklegging it or nothing.
I believe it needs a little bit more. That looks about right. That's about half.
Yeah. Let me see here. So it'll drop down to there, and there's a little leg on the back that catches it there. And then when it comes up to about like that, then it shuts off. Okay, that should be about right. All right. So we're gonna try it again. Okay, we're gonna give her another try. Got it full of vinegar and water. Oh ho, turned off. We're leaking like hell.
What?
The float bowl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ain't setting in there right.
It ain't in. No, I see it. I can see it's scooched down.
Okay.
So, I don't have my tripod handy. This. There we go. It wasn't sit.
Down too far.
It dropped out of the groove. All right, now just turn the key on and let me see if it fills up the bowl. Well, we're close. It's just below the dot. It ought to run right there. All right, hit it. Are you on the gas? Ease up to see if it's safe. You're off. I have to keep the idling up for the time being. Well, I'm sure I've got a couple of vacuum leaks. May got it a little over full. A little smoke, but it smells like rotten gas. We're running clean gas, but throughout the fuel lines and stuff, so it may take a little while to clean that up, but it's not oil smoke. I can smell it. Ooh, it smells awful. She's running though, running pretty good. Let's see. Our tach gauge even works. Temperature gauge seems to be working. We want to keep an eye on that. Wow. Whoop. Well, it didn't like that. Fired right back up though. Our oil pressure and voltage gauge is probably not hooked up, seeing how this console is just sitting there. Those were optional. It does have an idiot light over here, so. Now that she's warming up, I can back that idling off a little more. Well, our coolant went down just a little bit, pushed a little bit out, but
Yeah, it's cold a little.
yeah, I may have had it over full. Temperature gauge is working though. I'm trying to keep an eye on it.
It ain't started circulating none yet.
Well, we're pretty much operating temp. Fender jiggling. Yeah, fix that. Oh look, there's an oil change thing. Can't read the dates though. She's a little sputtery, but for no more than we did to the carb, and it's definitely got some old gas flowing through the system, so. We'll run some concentrated fuel system cleaner through it. He's over here making it spray water out. Exhaust is clearing up though. Oh yeah. Just had a little bit of crud to get out of the lines in the system, but that's looking pretty good, sounding pretty good.
Hose is beginning to get a little bit warm.
Yeah. It's operating temperature on the gauge. Looks like holding pretty steady too. Well, good news is the engine block is nice and dry. So
Blow the oil.
that looks like oil.
I think gas.
That's water where you're letting it spurt out every once in a while. Watch your fingers there. You're getting them awful close to that fan. Trim your fingernails the hard way. She's circulating now, ain't it?
A little bit, maybe. It's barely warm.
Oh, you're getting stuff everywhere.
You're lying down in your gas good back yonder?
Should be. That's already turned orange. That means it's doing its job. It's cleaning the stuff out. Temperature's holding steady. We didn't clean the idle jets out on that carburetor none. That's probably why it's not idling good. That like I say, you probably need to go through that carburetor fully to get it to run properly, but I wanted to get it to run to see if it was going to hold coolant. Main jet seems to be functioning pretty good.
Still has vacuum leak somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Put the air filter on it and it might run a little better. It's hard to do any tuning on it with the air filter on it though. See how well she fires back up. Gonna have to get rid of those. Yeah, the idle circuit's pretty much clogged up. Maybe running low on gas even. I believe we're running low on gas. The fuel pump got louder. So, that's not too bad. Like I say, it's not idling correctly. Mostly running off of where I got the throttle turned up. But I think the next step would be to try and get the gas tank cleaned out enough to run out of it. There again, I think I'm going to need about 4 more gallons of vinegar. But we'll clean out the gas tank if there's even anything in it. I haven't pulled the plug or anything. They was unable to get the locking gas cap off, so it probably hasn't had anything put in it, and who knows when. Now whether they tried to drain it or not, let's see here. Oh, that don't sound good. That sounds kind of solid. I may have to drop the tank. I don't know. We'll figure that out, but at least I got the main goal accomplished here, which is getting it, having a coolant system, getting a carburetor actually running, and it sit here and run for about 10-15 minutes almost. So I guess
overheat in there, did it?
No, it sat there on dead on the middle, right where it should be. Let me check the gauge again real quick. Well, anyway, that takes too long. It was sitting right on and good, so anyway. I guess that's going to do it for now. It's going to take some time to get the tank sorted out, and well, y'all probably already know what that's going to entail. Draining more gas, and I don't think it's going to be as easy as it was with the Austin, because it had only set probably 4 or 5 years, and this thing's set for probably 30 years. And from the sound of thumping on the bottom of that tank, I'm going to say there's something solid in it. So, we'll probably have to pull that out where I can pop the top open and look down in it and see if there's even any hope for it. I hope so, because these are a specific tank, which I got a couple more shots at a good one, but we'll see. So that's it for now. Later.